project that I hope will take off and have much success over the coming summer. But like I just said, this is a test stream, nothing but a test stream. Um, Maybe I should talk briefly about what I hope this will be. Um, Here in Wisconsin, obviously, like much of the U.S., experienced severe weather, and instead of going out and creating troubles, oh, and now I'm hearing myself. Anyway, sorry, like I said, this is definitely a test. Um, Instead of going out and chasing storms, which is something I do enjoy doing as someone who's a part of the weather community, and storm spotting, which is definitely a little bit different than storm chasing. Um, yeah, I don't want to be a person that creates problems or troubles. I think storm chasing lately has gotten a really bad rap, especially with some of the things you hear about in the media. And, I think there's definitely other outlets that can be explored for this sort of thing, and this is one I'm testing, and that is live streaming during thunderstorm events. Now, obviously today, just looking at the radar right now, which let's go ahead and look at the radar. We have several thunderstorms out in the area here in Wisconsin, but nothing severe at the moment. I've heard a little bit of hail up in the Green Bay area, but nothing too exciting there. So this is Green Bay area right now. Thunderstorms are firing what I believe is probably the warm front associated with this low pressure system or a lake breeze. Thunderstorms kind of have this north-south movement, which got me thinking a little bit of a lake breeze maybe going on from Lake Superior. Um, but yeah, let's go ahead and see what else. And you'll have to forgive me, guys. I am double checking things at the same time since I said this is a test stream. I hope to be a lot more focused in on the weather when we're doing this for real. But as I just mentioned, this is a test stream, and hopefully someone's viewing other than myself. So anyway, as I'm double checking some settings here, I'm getting like a stream health is not exactly healthy. I don't know what. Okay, whatever. YouTube's yelling at me about something. Anyway, let's zoom out here, this is really cool. I'm really enjoying this. And go into the La Crosse area, which I have to switch radars from the Green Bay radar to the La Crosse one. And let's put this in motion here. And like I said earlier, no severe weather currently. Had some reports of hail up in the Green Bay area, but this is mainly just heavy rain and small hail if there's any. And once again, sorry guys, I'm checking different things. Like I said, this was mainly a test stream for myself, but kind of want to go through all the things exciting. You can see I have a scrolling text at the bottom of the screen. And here, let me go back to my cam real quick. So down below, you can see that I have scrolling of the latest warnings and weather advisories going across the screen. And then over this direction here, I also have a map of the state of Wisconsin with all the updated warnings. Now, because of how the Weather Service does their API, these warnings are not up to date for, say, like instantaneous. It takes about 2 minutes for the API to refresh itself. But that's still plenty fast, and if there are like severe weather warnings, such as severe thunderstorm warnings or tornado warnings, and we want to look at it right away, we can always go back to the radar, and that will have instantaneous updates. So yeah, that will be exciting when that happens. Just to reiterate, this is a test stream. I just want to be very clear of that. And there are no severe weather warnings at the moment. Here we are just looking at La Crosse. And it looks like between Black River Falls, just entering into the La Crosse County now, got some thunderstorms. I have right now the reflectivity map up, but let's go ahead and maybe take a look at a different map. Let's see. Let's just look at velocity, just because that's always a favorite map of people. And obviously not much in the way of winds. Let's see. Once again, 20 miles per hour. Nothing real exciting here. Just normal, everyday stuff. Yeah, nothing too exciting. But once again, just testing out all these features, trying to see how the feel of this would be in a real life situation. Well, this is real life, obviously, but in a more intense situation. Just a little bit of history of myself. I do have a meteorology degree from the UW of Wisconsin-Madison. Um, I haven't had much in the way of work experience in the field, just because I was born and raised in Madison and did not go to graduate school, just had my undergrad degree. And it's really hard to get into the field without a graduate degree if you're not willing to expand and move outside of the state. And right now, I'm really content staying in Madison for several reasons. And I do have a nice paying job beyond a job in the field right now, but that's kind of besides the point. Let's go back to reflectivity. And like I said, you guys, I'm sorry if I'm kind of all over the place. I'm looking at several different things, not just the weather at the moment. Uh, and obviously, during a severe weather event, I hope to focus in on that and other things too, not just the severe weather. We'll look at both mesoscale and synoptic scale uh, dynamics, all that good stuff. Um, and for some reason, YouTube is yelling at me about something. I don't know if it normally does that. This is also the first stream I've ever done. It's not my first time talking about the weather in front of an audience. In high school, of all things, I did a daily weather, well, not daily, but weekly weather segment, and so I'm definitely used to talking about the weather in front of an audience. It's just, like I said, right now I'm dealing with more than just talking about the weather. I'm testing out several things. So here, once again, just going back to Green Bay, got some heavier thunderstorms. Moving into the Green Bay area now, like I said earlier, if we put this into motion, we got storms moving kind of from a northwest to southeast direction, which is a little bit odd. If we go and look at a synoptic scale view, let's see if we can get this working. Where are you not switching? Aha, there we go, finally. I just have the mesoscale analysis from the SPC up here. You can kind of see we have a very nice low pressure. Actually, let me go and put the visible satellite on because this is just a beautiful low pressure system just south of Wisconsin, the Iowa, Missouri, Illinois region. That is such a nice low. Um, anyway, and it's kind of tracking very slowly to the north and east, kind of through the area. And as you can imagine, spiral or precipitation bands or spirals coming off the low here. And let's see, let's just look at some other stuff. Looks like we got temperatures in the 70s across the middle section of Wisconsin. And obviously that tapers off a lot once you get near to the lakes because the lakes are still very cold this time of year. Let's see what else. Let's look at the dew points real quick. Oh, actually dew points are on this map. And we are still very dry across the region, which is not very surprising. This low kind of has cut off. And just if we look at, let's see, once again, 300 millibar analysis. Yeah, I can go and get a full. Obviously, right now, any moisture that is in the region is being kind of cut off by this low, and you can kind of see where the jet is too. So you want to expect much moisture past the jet here. Most of the moisture is kind of down in the southeast, and let's actually verify that. Look at the dew points. Yeah, there's a little bit of a tongue into Indiana, Ohio, Kentucky, and Tennessee, but not much into our area. The temperatures are quite warm. We were in the 70s, and it looks like they're only in the 60s down where the actual low pressure system. And I'm really sorry, guys. I noticed how small that is. Let's see if we can blow that up a little bit. once again, one of these things, I'm got a million other things I'm looking at the moment. Not just that. Speaking of which, I don't have much time to test today, but let's go ahead and look at some other stuff. Uh, One, there's severe weather in my area. I live in Madison, like I said. I hope to show a live webcam of the outside, and you can see here. Here in Madison, nothing too exciting. Um, we did have some puffy cumulus clouds earlier, and it looks like they were trying to sprout up something a little more than just your normal level, um, low level cumulus. Although, actually, if we go back real quick, I want to verify something that I was thinking about earlier. Let's look at the LCL heights and zoom back in into Midwest. Yeah, yeah. These are definitely high level bases to our thunderstorms here. Looks like 15,000 feet is, or excuse me, 1,500 feet is our LCL height. So a lot of those base heights were quite high, and you could tell looking through or looking at the clouds today. Um, but looks like some lower values up to the north and east in the Green Bay area where we saw those thunderstorms earlier. Let's go back and just take a quick look at those thunderstorms. Nothing too exciting. Like I said, some reports of hail up in the Green Bay area, just south of Shawano. Looking at that report just now. Um, and like I said, sorry guys, let me just pause here for a second. I want to double check something real quick. Okay, sorry about that. I wanted to listen to myself real quick just to see how I'm sounding as far as mic levels go. I'm using a Yeti Pro, which should be definitely a nice enough mic for our streaming that we're trying to do here. Let's see, anywhere else across the state that is experiencing any sort of weather? I kind of want to use today because there is actually some thunderstorm activity associated with that low that's going through the region. We were looking earlier at La Crosse. Some thunderstorms started popping up near La Crosse. Nothing too exciting there. Definitely nice, to see thunderstorms again in the region. If you've been listening to any of the forecasts for later this week, obviously a lot of people are excited about the severe weather outbreak that's possible this coming week out towards Texas and just the Central Plains area, South Central, I should say. I believe the SPC did have one day near us. I would have to double check that. Another problem of mine is, especially today, is that I worked this morning and it's really busy time of the year at work, so I don't get a lot of time to just sit down and study weather maps, which hopefully if I'm starting to do this more, and I should actually show you guys what I'm doing. Yeah, so this is day 3, day 2, nothing exciting, but just talking about that severe weather outbreak potential later on this week across Texas, a 30% hatch. On day 5, I believe. No, day 6. Yeah, wow, day 6. So they must be very confident that something's going to happen. And it just looks like we got a classic trough ridge set up later on this week as the jet just dives through the area, tapping into some uh, Gulf of Mexico moisture, which, is your typical setup here in the United States for a severe weather outbreak. It looks like in day 7 that low probably lifts through along with the jet into the Missouri, Illinois, Iowa area, so that'll be worth taking a look at. Obviously, the second day of a severe weather outbreak is usually not as impressive as the first day, depending on the setup, but this is kind of more your classic dry line associated with a low, associated with the jet stream ridge trough setup. So usually the second day is not as exciting. But then they also have a day 3, so I don't know if there's another wave of energy. Maybe the I know the weather pattern we're stuck in right now, the jet has kind of been sitting kind of stagnant across much of the U.S. in its current omega structure, although that's starting to dissolve now. And maybe it's setting up for this setup for later on next week. And like I said, I do apologize. I have not really looked at models lately. Just one of those things. I've been a little too busy. But wanted to test today, see how that went. So far, I would say, let me go back to the camera, other than me being distracted by other things, just trying to see what the actual stream looks like. Um, and testing to make sure that everything else works. I just want to go real quick back to the radar, take a look at the Madison area, which this will be hopefully the main area I take a look at when I do these live weather streams. I don't know if you've noticed, but the username I'm using for these live streams is called MSNWX, kind of going off of the WIWX hashtag that's very common, and also a weather group that I know some of the people who run, Wisconsin Weather. And if you don't know what WX stands for, that is the Morse code abbreviation for weather, and it's taken off on the internet too, using the hashtag WIWX, so it's very common. Um, Anyway, this just looks like a fun little cell that just popped up near Janesville. And where was I going with that other story? I don't know. Oh yeah, look at that cute little guy. That one's pretty stagnant too. Ah, interesting. Don't think there's probably much of a cap on the atmosphere this afternoon. That's where I was going earlier when I was talking about the cumulus clouds. You could tell that there was definitely nothing capping back the atmosphere. Um, So any sort of convection was kind of leading to thunderstorms, and it doesn't take much. You just need that trigger, and which is why I kind of thought that out by Green Bay, if we go back to the Green Bay area, there might have been some sort of lake breeze going on, especially looking at um, just kind of the general direction of these storms. You know, you got one storm. Oh, there's a nice or looking storm kind of by Oconto that just popped up. But you know, the direction of these storms are just, yeah, very interesting. You don't typically see that, and it kind of is going against just the general direction of the spiral bands that the low associated with the low. But if I looked in and actually analyzed some maps for a while, it probably would tell me the actual story. Like I said, this is just a test stream. When we're doing these actual streams, I hope to do a lot of analysis, uh, applying the knowledge that I know, and getting you guys involved. That's important too. I want to hear what you guys are doing, and especially when this grows with popularity, which I hope it sure does. This is just a passion of mine, weather, obviously. And I think this is a unique thing that's not being done. I don't see much in the way of people going out and doing these severe weather. Well, and it's not just severe weather, but we'll be focusing on severe weather, obviously, because that's where the headlines come in. That's where the attention gets focused. But just doing these weather streams where we're talking about severe weather and stuff like that. And it's just a different outlet. It's something that not a lot of people are doing. So anyway, I think I'm wrapping this up. I've done everything I want to do, tested everything I want to test. I'm hoping to clean up some things, get some graphics. That's the one thing. I mean, I obviously, oh, let's go back to the camera. I'm going to need some shortcut keys for that because I'm going to forget to do that all the time. But anyway, obviously we got the scrolling bar with all the information below. We have, I gotta remember which way to point to. We got the map with the latest advisories and stuff like that. Oh, that's a good point. I should have a map that's blown up more than that. Because it's kind of difficult to see that. It's not too difficult. Just kind of look at the test stream of myself. It's not too bad, but when things get exciting and that, you know, there's a million colors on that map, it'll definitely be more important to actually tell what is going on. And I can't do polygons at the moment because that involves a little bit more work on my end, and I also have to figure out how to associate coordinates, like actual geo coordinates, with, you know, latitude, longitudes with the pixels on the map, and I can't quite get that to line up perfectly. involves a little bit of math that is a little bit shady. So once I can figure that out a little bit better, or you know, figure out a totally different system, we can do polygons. But at the very least, I got the county system going on right now, and that seems to work out pretty well. Especially, since there's a little bit of a delay. If there are any warnings, we'll be going to the radar again and taking a look at that. So anyway, this has been a test stream. Thanks you guys if anyone was watching. It looks like I had 2 viewers, so 2 of you tuned in. I appreciate it. And I hope this is a great start to something that will be much more in-depth and much more, what's the word I'm using for? But much better experience than just me trying to test different features of the setup I got going on here. And I hope this is a different format than most people are used to. Hopefully, one of my goals is to get interacting with the community. So if you're out there and you see something, you can send it in and we'll show it. And there will be a Twitter account associated with these live streams. I'll have the little badge up somewhere up here so you can tweet in what you're seeing. And I'm also going to try to get some help with some other people that I know, weather enthusiasts and other meteorologists that I know, and get them involved with this project too. But it all starts with the very basics, and that's what I hope I got down today. So I think that's it for today, barring any severe weather that pops up, but I don't think there's going to be, especially since we're losing the sun now. And let's just take a look at, yeah, it's getting pretty dark outside. But it should be a beautiful evening, and once again, thanks for stopping by, and I hope this is the start of a beautiful thing. All right.